Warships are a key part of a Navy's surface fleet and come in a variety of shapes and sizes depending on their capabilities and functions. Two common types of warship used in most navies are frigates and destroyers. What is the difference between these two vessels? Frigates and destroyers are two of the most common warships in a navy's fleet. Both are designed for quick maneuverability and can be used to escort and protect larger vessels from air, surface, and underwater threats. The similarities between frigates and destroyers have led to some European navies using the terms interchangeably. On the other hand, frigates are more common, with almost every navy in the world in possession of a frigate as part of its navy fleet, while only 13 nations possess destroyers, according to the Global Firepower Index 2019. Frigate versus destroyer. What are some of the key differences? Almost every navy has a frigate. Of the 55 nations that own frigate ships, China leads the world with 52 frigates across 3 different classes, followed perhaps surprisingly by Taiwan, which has 24, and the US with 22 vessels. Destroyers are much less common, with only a handful of navies possessing these kind of warships. The US Navy owns the most destroyers, with 68 currently in service. Japan comes in second with 37, followed by China, which owns 33 vessels. Some nations, such as Spain and Germany, officially have no destroyers, although many of their frigate ships are almost identical to what other nations would class as a destroyer vessel. Destroyers are usually bigger. Destroyer warships come in a range of sizes. Smaller destroyers, such as the Royal Navy S-Type 45 Daring class and Russia's Project 956 Sovereignty class, measure in at around 150 m in length, with a beam of around 17-18 m. Then there is the U.S. Navy's Zumwalt-class destroyer, a 190 m long colossus with a beam of 24.6 m. The Zumwalt class weighs in at nearly 16,000 t, making it double the weight of smaller destroyers that weigh in at around 8,000 t at full load. While frigates vary greatly in terms of size, many of the top frigates such as Russia's Admiral Gorshkov class and Germany's Saxon class are smaller than destroyers, measuring in at around 130 m 150 m in length. They are roughly the same width as destroyer vessels. The key distinction between frigates and destroyers is size and, by extension, function, says Dr. Siddharth Kaushal, a research fellow at the Royal United Services Institute for Defense and Security Studies. By virtue of being larger, destroyers can more easily carry and generate the power for more powerful high-resolution radar and a larger number of vertical launch cells. They can thus provide theater-wide air and missile defense for forces such as a carrier battle group and typically serve this function. Frigates are thus usually used as escort vessels to protect sea lines of communication or as an auxiliary component of a strike group, whereas destroyers are generally integrated into carrier battle groups as the air defense component or utilized to provide territorial air and missile defense. Frigates are generally slower than destroyers, although in modern times there is not a significant difference. One of the faster frigate ships is the Indian Navy's Shivali class that is touted to travel up to 32 knots, 59 km/h, at max speed, while others range between 26 to 30 knots, 48-55 km/h. Despite its impressive size, the Zumwalt-class destroyer can travel up to 30 knots, slightly slower than the smaller Sovereignty and Daring classes, which have an average of 32 knots. The Zumwalt class is still as fast, if not faster, than most frigate classes. Modern destroyer vessels peak at around 33 knots, 61 km/h, while the fastest ever recorded destroyer was the French Navy's Le Terrible that reached 45.1 knots, 83.5 km/h, during sea trials in 1935. Weapons and EW capabilities vary based on roles. Unsurprisingly, both frigates and destroyers are armed with the latest weapons and defense systems, which are vital for carrying out their escort and protect roles. Some frigates, such as the Royal Navy's Duke class, have specialized anti-submarine warfare (ASW) capabilities and are fitted with enhanced sonar equipment and torpedoes. ASW enhanced frigates come with helipads and hangars that accommodate helicopters capable of identifying and attacking nuclear submarines using torpedoes and depth charges. The DO class is equipped with 2 twin Stingray torpedo tubes and can accommodate either a Westland Lynx helicopter armed with 2 torpedoes or a Westland Merlin with 4 torpedoes. Frigates, being a smaller vessel, can provide limited air defense to themselves and nearby vessels but are not particularly well suited to theater air defense, says Kaushal. They tend to be utilized primarily for anti-submarine warfare roles as well as providing short-range air defense as part of a larger surface group. Some destroyers have been modified specifically for launching anti-ship and anti-aircraft guided missiles. The U.S. Navy's Zumwalt and Arleigh Burke classes have this capability, as does the Royal Navy's Daring class and Russia's Sovereignty class. Take, for example, the Daring class's Sea Viper comprehensive defense system that allows the Royal Navy to track targets from up to 400 kilometers away using a Samson Active Electronically Scanned Array, and a 48-cell Silver Vertical Launching System, VLS, with Aster 15 and Aster 30 surface-to-air missiles. The Behemoth Zumwalt class comes with 20 Mk57 VLS modules with 80 launch cells, and can fire Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles and Tactical Tomahawk subsonic cruise missiles. Cost differences between frigates and destroyers. It is very difficult to pinpoint the unit prices of certain classes of ship, let alone types of ships. However, here are some estimates of the most expensive vessels. The most expensive destroyer in the world is the U.S. Navy's Zumwalt class. The very first model, the DDG-1000, cost around $4.2 billion according to USNI News, $3.8 billion for non-recurring engineering costs and an additional $400 million for post-delivery and outfitting. The second and third, in production, ships are estimated to be cheaper, at $2.8 billion and $2.4 billion respectively. This is expensive compared to the Royal Navy's Daring-class destroyers that are priced at a little over £1 billion, $1.36 billion. In contrast, frigate ships are much more cost-efficient. The Royal Navy's DO class was priced at around £130 million per vessel, while the much-anticipated Type 31 frigate was estimated in 2017 to cost around £250 million per unit, according to a UK government fact sheet. The German Navy S-Saxon class is one of the most expensive frigate classes, costing around €2.1 billion, $2.4 billion, for the 3 ships in total.